Good morning, class, and welcome to the Sociology of Marriage and Family. I will be your instructor, Professor White, on this wonderful, magical journey of what it's like to be married, not married, having a family, having no family within sociology. I wanted to do a short video, pretty much just introducing myself so you can see that there is an instructor on the other side of the computer, well, who's also grading and putting your assignments together. But I wanted to put together information and go through the syllabus, go through the various assignments that we will be having throughout this semester. A little bit about myself. This is my 11th year of teaching. I very much love teaching sociology. It is a subject where it comes natural to me and to, believe it or not, to you as well, because we are all professional people watchers, right? We love to watch people, see their interactions, and then try to figure out why they're acting the way they're acting, okay? But for this course, we will be focusing again on marriage and family. This is actually, don't tell the other courses, but this is actually my favorite class to teach because there's just such an abundance of information to be learned and to teach when it comes to family and marriage. As we all know, we all come from a family, whether we like it or not, right? So we will be talking about all of these exciting topics. So one of the things that I want you to do is print the syllabus. The syllabus is a very important piece of information because this is where it is going to have all the due dates of all the assignments that are due on a weekly basis. So the beginning of the syllabus, as I'm scrolling through along with you, is the course description, the course objectives, and then the various student learning outcomes for this course specifically. You will see that I do put a picture of our textbook and the information regarding the textbook itself. You may utilize and buy this book by purchasing either in the bookstore or finding it online as well. I have been asked if it's okay to use an earlier version of a textbook. That is okay, but please note that all of my exams come from this direct edition that I have here in the course. So the assignments, what you will be having in this course, you'll be assigned 3 midterms and 1 final. I will be providing you with more information as we get closer to the exams. You will also notice that in this week's module, I've placed your first study guide for your first exam. I like to do this because it allows you to read your chapters and then go through that chapter's study guide and fill in the responses. These are literally the questions on the exam, okay? So it's very, very beneficial and very helpful to print out that study guide and go with it chapter by chapter. Another assignment that you will have is 3 news reflections. I will provide you with more information next week regarding those news reflections. It's just 3 of them for the entire semester, and they are 1 page each, okay? So it'll be divided into 3 different paragraphs, and that's it, okay? Again, all that information will be provided for you next week. Lastly, the last assignment that you will have will be an autobiographical term paper, okay? So this term paper will allow you to apply what you've learned within this course and then apply it to your own family and marriage. Again, I will provide you with more instructions as we get closer to this assignment being due. I will also provide you with student examples so that you have an idea of what I'm looking for. If you're curious and want to learn, or maybe read a little bit more about the term paper, you may do so as it is in this, the syllabus itself. Let me see. So the news reflections, assignments. Lastly, you will have a weekly discussion board where this will be taking the place as if we were face-to-face in the classroom, and you will be responding to maybe 1, 2, or 3 questions a week. Please note that your initial post is due no later than 11:59 on Friday nights. Every Friday night by 11:59. 2 peer responses will be due by Sunday 11:59. So there's 2 different due dates. Friday for your initial, Sunday for your 2 peer responses. You're going to note when you're going through the modules that it's always going to put the closing date on that Sunday. Now, the reason it does this is because Canvas is going to lock itself at 11:59 on Sunday. It cannot lock itself on Friday and then reopen, right? So it has to be continuous. So please make sure, do not abide by and say like, well, I thought I had till August 26th to do all 3. No, you need to do your initial discussion by Friday, 2 peer responses by Sunday, okay? Also, please make sure that when you're in the discussion board that you are thoroughly reading exactly what I'm looking for to be included within each response, as well as peer responses. One of the other things that I like to talk about is late work. I do not accept any late work. Now, the reason I do this is because you are to be held responsible for your own actions, right? I'm getting you ready for when you go into the working field, into your career of choice. You're not going to tell, your boss saying, well, I wasn't able to do this project because of X, Y, and Z. Can I have an extension? Most of the time, depending on who you're working for, where you're working for, they're going to say, no, we can replace you with someone else. So this is the reason why I run my classroom this way, because again, it's preparing you for after graduation. Now, if you do have an emergency, that's a different story. I will need you to get in touch with me as soon as you can, and then I will also ask for documentation. Okay, documentation, so that I can turn that into admin showing why you turned in late assignments. I will not accept going on vacation as an excuse, okay, as an emergency, just so that you know. In the syllabus, you will also notice the grading scales. It breaks down the weight, it's weight percentages in terms of your assignments, the discussions, your exams, term paper. Academic honesty, I do not accept plagiarism. Plagiarism is really bad, right? This is a class where you are going to be citing a lot of class material. Therefore, it's important. There's a difference between plagiarizing and also citing information, okay? So you want to make sure that you are citing correctly. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me asking me how do I cite this correctly, or you can do a quick Google search in terms of how to cite material properly. If you are a student with disabilities and need accommodation in this class, within the syllabus, I do have information and a phone number so that you may contact someone. Please do so as soon as possible as well. Attendance is your responsibility to be in class. I know that we're not in a physical classroom, but I am very well aware of when you are logging into class and when you are not logging into class. So please be responsible. Please take this as serious as if you would if you were in the classroom. Let's see. The last thing on the syllabus before we get to course at a glance are office hours. I am one of those type of instructors that really like to check my email on a daily basis, I should say, more than once a day. And so if you email me during the week, you're going to receive a response fairly quickly. Now on the weekend, it's going to be a little bit different. I have 2 little ones and my husband, and we are always running around on the weekends doing different activities. November, we have birthdays and also tons of weddings. So it's going to be a little chaotic. So on the weekends, you'll notice that it takes me at least 24 hours or the entire weekend to get back to you. Okay, so if you have any question, please make sure that it's well ahead of when that assignment is going to be due. The other thing I was going to talk about is respect. Just note that, oftentimes maybe we may be in discussing a topic that you're very, you have a very strong opinion about something, It's wonderful that we all have wonderful, strong opinions regarding many different topics, but we also have to do it in a respectful manner where we're not putting a student down, where we're not offending them, we're cornering them. I know oftentimes when we're on the online setting, it's a little bit easier for us to speak our mind because if we don't have a picture in our bio, right next to our little Canvas thing, then, by all means, some students, will go on and on and on and then say, well, they don't know what I look like, okay? So again, be mindful, we do want to have a sense of humor, but with decency, okay? And I always love to bring in quirky stories of my life. You'll be learning a lot about my parents, my brothers, my in-laws. Hopefully they're not all taking the class because then I'd be in trouble, okay? But I do this because I want it to, again, bring it down to showing you that I am a real person on the other side of the computer, okay? One of the things that you're going to notice as well is I'm going to be placing every so often video lectures regarding the different chapters. These are pre-recorded from a different semester, so if I mention something that maybe is not a current event and you're like, wait, that happened like a while ago, then do not panic. Again, I'm gonna redo these videos within the next semester or so, okay? And then lastly, on the course syllabus, you will notice that it's week by week. It'll tell you exactly which chapter you are reading as well as when an assignment is due. I am very much always following my syllabus, and so whatever you see is due that week, it is going to be due that week, okay? The other thing I was going to say, if you go on the left hand side of the menu, you'll see the modules. The modules is exactly broken down week by week. So for example, this week, August 20th through the 26th, you'll notice that there's week 1 instructions. You'll also notice that I have the video lecture for chapter 1, introducing it, as well as a PowerPoint lecture. I always like to bring in a PowerPoint. These are the actual lectures that I go through when I am face-to-face teaching these courses. You'll also notice that you have your study guide for your first exam, as well as week 1 discussion board. Okay, so you'll always notice. Next week, you'll notice that your first news reflection is due, and so you'll see it in the heading that there is a news reflection that is due. Lastly, if you also look on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's an announcement section. The announcement section is where I usually post any general messages. If you have any questions, if I have any comments to send out to the class, in addition to the announcements, I also usually send out an actual email that goes out to the entire class. So you will receive that. One of the little last things I was going to mention is when you are emailing me, make sure you are emailing me through the school account or through Canvas. In this past, students have written me messages within the graded notes section in Canvas when you've received a grade and assignment. I have no way of knowing that, or I have no way of Canvas letting me know that you've posted something unless I went week or day by day by day,